And happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome to my Conscious Eating, Conscious Living chat, where we look at all sorts of different issues, food related, conscious living related. And today's little chat is on Cheez Whiz. And you know what? I grew up with Cheez Whiz. I, it was in our household all the time. We put it on celery sticks. And I'm not sure if our mom put it in sauces or not. Anyway, it was our go-to, and it was a great way for her to provide snacks for 7 growing children. And I was thinking about it the other day and going, Cheez Whiz. I mean, I haven't had that for, I don't know, 40 years. And I was thinking, okay, well, what's in it? What's in that Cheez Whiz? Well, it got me curious because as an advocate for healthy eating, which I want you to be as well, you need to be your own advocate and l- listen to what the food industry is saying and read the labels because that's what this is about reading the labels and what is in that packaged food that's so quick and easy. Well, quick and easy does not do your body good. Just saying. And so, what were those ingredients? So I looked it up, and it was first introduced in England. It was an English product to find a substitute for that Welsh rarebit, which was that cheese sauce they would put in their food. And that was in 1953. And it quickly hopped over to the Atlantic Ocean, where the US took it up and just ran with it. So now they call it a dipping sauce. And what's it made out of? And so that's and I found a couple of different sites with slightly different ingredients. One, there was skim milk, canola oil, which is in our bad oil list, the maltodextrin, whey protein concentrate, contains less than 2% of modified food starch, whey, salt, lactic acid, mustard flour, sodium alginate, Worcestershire sauce, which has vinegar, molasses, corn syrup, water, salt, and caramel color, and garlic powder, sugar, and spices, and contains celery. And today's focus is one of those ingredients, which is sodium phosphate. So, sodium phosphate is a generic term that may refer to any sodium salt of phosphoric acid. They're commonly added to food and may serve a variety of purposes. Phosphates are commonly used in processed cheese as emulsifiers to keep the oil and the water mixed together, in sodas, iced trees, and French fries. Phosphate additives play an especially important role in the meat industry, where they are used as preservatives. Now, phosphorus, it's a mineral that's naturally found in protein-rich foods, dairy, fish, meat, and eggs, and your body needs it to help your kidneys, your bones, and muscles to function properly. Phosphate additives, however, are much more easily absorbed by the body. This means you're getting a ton more of the compound in a serving than you normally would if you just ate whole fresh food that naturally contains phosphorus. Phosphate is an inorganic, that means not naturally derived. It's a derivative of phosphorus that is often added to processed food. And usually it's not for nutritional benefits, but for food science to make the food stick together, look better. That says Brissette, who is a naturopathic physician. Phosphates are commonly used in processed cheese as emulsifier to keep that oil and water mixed together. In sodas, and also phosphates add color. They're also found in powdered milk, powdered coffee, and pudding. The most common and surprising place you find phosphates is in meat, poultry, and seafood. It's injected in a water solution to help the meat retain more water when you recook it. Now, according to FDA in the United States, there's this GRAS, generally recognized as safe, system that they have, and they consider phosphates as part of that. The Environmental Working Group, however, lists sodium phosphate, and it's apparently in over 6,000 food products as a moderate concern in foods. And there's been quite a bit of research linking it to potential health risks. Higher phosphate intake has been associated with increased risk of death for people with kidney disease. The kidneys, especially, if they're already weakened from a chronic kidney disease, can have a really hard time filtering it out of your blood effectively. Some studies have also noted an increased risk of cardiovascular disease for people with elevated levels of phosphorus in their blood. So you've got the extra phosphorus, and then you've got the phosphates, which are being absorbed much more readily than the regular phosphorus is because it's combined with the calcium, and that helps slow down its absorption. Whereas the phosphate, it's not attached to anything. It's like a free-for-all, and it's having a free-for-all in your body, which you don't really want. Researchers think that the whole thing about the calcium. And so when you have the high levels of phosphorus in your blood, you can develop calcium deposits and hardening of the arteries in the heart. And additional studies in animals have tied high levels of phosphate intake to an increased risk of high blood pressure and even sedentary lifestyle. It's not a cause, it's an association. Because of the fact that with the processed food, there's so many other additives, so they don't know if it's this sodium or this additive or that additive that's actually creating that issue with the phosphate. And it does appear on the ingredients list under a lot of different names. And Brissette says, try and avoid products with any ingredients that include the letters PHOS, PHOS. So check your labels, and if it's got this PHOS, then you know it's got phosphate in it. It's better for your overall health to just avoid processed food as much as possible. And please don't send your kids to school with lunches filled with packaged food. It does not help them. You are adding to their problem of poor health at a very young age. Stick with fruits and veggies, fresh food. Phosphate is usually used in foods that are not that great for you in the first place, like processed meat and cheeses. In general, these foods are also high in sodium and other additives. Now, we know it's a common food additive, and it's lots and lots of packaged food, but it's been flying under the radar, is what a lot of health experts are saying, for many years. And yet a growing number of studies link it to some pretty undesirable side effects from heart disease to early death. It's hard to accurately determine just how much phosphorus you're consuming, plus the phosphate. And it's not a required nutrient listed on our food and drink labels. So it can be in there and it's not labeled. And how do you, as this beautiful being, how can you learn to intuit, use your intuition? You could use muscle testing and just ask with your swinging pendulum, does this food have phosphate in it? And you will, as you practice, you'll get a yes or a no. So take your little pendulum, which I've got one. This is just one. It's just a combination of a ring and a little necklace piece. And so train your Ask yourself, what is yes and what is no? You just take this little tool to the store if you're buying packaged food, just ask. Or you make a statement. This food contains phosphate. Yes or no? Show me. And with practice, it will actually show you if that food contains phosphate and it's not labeled as such. So you can be these beautiful divine beings going into stores, choosing food that is healthy for you. And so what else have we got? So a lot of companies aren't including it. And it's possible that we're getting too much because not enough studies have been done, because it's generally recognized as safe as the American FDA. And sometimes I wonder, we've got Health Canada here where I live, and these higher ups just make the presumption, oh, it's fine. We don't think it's going to be harmful, so we're not going to require research or labeling. And you, as a consumer and the one in control of your health, you need to speak up. You need to be the scientist and investigate. Another link mentions ingredients, and these include modified milk ingredients, water, cheese, just milk, modified milk ingredients, and that'll be another chat on what does that actually mean. Salt, bacterial culture, microbial enzymes, calcium chloride, lipase, corn, maltodextrin, sodium phosphates, color, salt, sodium alginate, modified cornstarch, lactic acid, ground mustard, seasoning, contains celery, sorbic acid. So, in a 1953 ad in Kraft Foods' home city, Chicago, included a label illustrating and listing the original ingredients, which was American cheese, water, non-fat dry milk solids, condensed whey, sodium phosphate, cream, Worcestershire sauce, lactic acid, mustard salt, U.S. certified color, moisture, 52% milk fat, and then the milk fat was 28%. As of 2016, Kraft describes Cheez Whiz as a cheese dip, and the word cheese spelled correctly. However, we want to give this a go. After prolonged, we've come up with these essential characteristics. 1, milk or milk-derived ingredient, allowed, but criterion 2, allowed optional ingredient, criterion 3, the coagulation of milk-derived product, or 4, separation of curds and whey. Canadian Cheez Whiz lists cheese as the second ingredient after milk. So I'll need to go to the store and check a jar of Cheez Whiz. And the American Cheez Whiz does not list cheese on the label, consisting mainly of whey and canola oil. So if you're going to eat cheese, at least have it as unprocessed as possible. And so you've got a little bit of information on what phosphate does to or can do, perhaps. So if you are a kind of a packaged food person, read your labels. And according to Anthony William, the medical medium, cheese and dairy products actually feed viruses. So if you really want to feel healthier, especially during the fall flu season, cut out your dairy. Experiment with it. And if you cannot be without it for a few days, a week, try 2 weeks, think about what an addiction is. Give your body a chance to be without it. And do it for a period of 2 to 4 weeks and just be without it completely. You can substitute cream in your coffee with coconut milk, coconut cream. Yes, it doesn't make it all a creamy smoothie like Cremo does. Give it a try. And if it's an addiction, that's something that you can choose to do something about. You can always check my website and my app, which is called Authentic Sacred Design. I've got lots of ideas and information on healthy eating, food, working with your spirit, mindfulness, and so much more. So come on over, visit. Most things are free at the moment. And you can always contact me at rosiesjoy11@gmail.com. And many blessings. And just be in your heart and just send loving light all around the world, because we need more love. We need to let go of the fears, let go of our old conditionings, let go of what we're hearing on the mainstream media. Listen to your heart. What does your essence heart tell you? Spread the light, spread the love, unconditional love, and try that with yourself. Have compassion. If you're not there yet, that's okay. That's a place to start. We need to spread more love around this planet if we are going to move ahead in our evolution. So peace and calm. Thank you. Just breathing in that peace, feeling the calm.